Hello everyone, Vanakkam. This is Nirupama Jram, your fellow writer from Realm of Poems. First, I would like to thank Birajwalya ji for creating this beautiful group, and I would like to congratulate him for the 2 years of success. As we conducted a poll on Founders Day regarding poetry workshop, many gave the positive response, and this is a first program of sharing knowledge to each other. So every 10 days or every weekly once, we thought of conducting it. And today I came with a few basic things which I learned from my mentors and a few fellow writers, and I am going to share that with you all. So poetry, you all know poetry is an art where our feelings, emotions, everything blend into together, and we pour that as a beautiful poem. And of course, we used to seek help from few poetic tools, what we call it as metaphors, similes, personifications, and rhymes, syllables, meters, and lot more are there. So, while writing a free verse, we don't want to see all those stuffs like syllables, meters, or rhymes, whatever we call. But few things are involved in it, like metaphors and similes and personifications. Without that, poem will be like a narrative, prose-like type of thing, where you won't get the feel of reading that as a poem. You just it feels like reading a storybook, but we don't want that. So every poet used to involve metaphors in it and personifications in it, and few used to blend both first half metaphors and second half with simile and all. So first let us come with the metaphors. What metaphor is? Metaphor is one component of figurative language, and simile is another image, and symbol can be included in this category. Symbols and images also can be included in this category, right? So metaphors make an implicit comparison, directly equating the two unlike things. Two unlike things can be compared, and that is called a metaphor. So for example, I would like to share an example, like my heart is like a building that's been secured. This is so direct that your heart is being protected, and it's very much strong and everything. It is so direct. So what a poet do? They will be writing it in a different way. There they use metaphors. So how they will be writing? I will sharing you with. We can write my heart closed down with grates and padlocks around. This is what we poet used to do. So we will be including the two imaginative parts, unlike things, to compare one stuff like heart, whatever it is. You can take it as a sun, you can take it as your eyes, whatever it is. See, if you say if you are seeing, gazing, if it is shining, you won't be saying that her eyes is shining. Oh, her eyes scintillating like stars. Like, when I use like, this becomes a simile. When you remove the like from it, then it becomes a metaphor over there. So many of the poets make the poem with an unusual imaginations, bringing into it, and they give life to their feelings. Got it? So metaphor is a subject to cliche as simile. Metaphor is particularly useful when we are dealing with abstractions like love, peace, hatred, and etc. That things we cannot touch, only can be felt. Those things can be explained through metaphors. So metaphor is one beautiful tool that can give a life to your poetry, life to your feelings. You can live live in your poetry through metaphors, using it in a beautiful way. So, another example I would like to share with you all. Hope is a flapping kite tethered to a child. See how beautifully they gave a metaphor for hope. Hope is flapping kite. Kite is like that. It is wavering here and there, and it is tethered to a beautiful tethered to a child. How beautifully the poet gave. I took these lines from online only. I didn't write this, so the credit goes to Google. I must say. So hope is a flapping kite. So here hope is compared to a flapping kite, and it is indirectly portrayed that hope is like it's wavering here and there, and the holding the tether to a child, where it is it should be carefully handled. If it is not carefully handled, it would be breaks. So they gave it as tethered to a child. So following that, another one line comes. See, hope is concrete, strong, and slowly breaking every day, being hit by a sledgehammer of hate. Hope is nothing but a concrete base, so it is very much strong. It cannot be break, but as a sledgehammer like hate, it can be disturbed by that, by breaking it. You can break the hope by that. So indirectly they are saying that hope is a strong thing, but it can be break through hate. So beautifully the metaphors are chosen. So in our day-to-day life also, we used to come across all these metaphors, and you all know that her lovely voice was music to his ears. This is one common metaphor every poet used to write, and of course I used a lot with this. And life is a roller coaster, and everyone knows this is a common metaphor used, and everyone came to know about this. I know my kids' room is a disaster area. Every mother will be approving this, right? My kids' room is a disaster area. And of course, and I would like to present a few lines from our fellow writer Tegabeni Akapodiga. She is from Nigeria. Her poem is fully filled with metaphors. I love to read her metaphors, especially. I would like to share few lines from her poem. See, it has been umpteen moons and countless sun. How beautifully she is portraying that it's been a long day. She is portraying that it's been a long day by using a metaphor. It's been umpteen moons and countless sun. How beautifully, how clever moon, huh? So, and another one line, Mr. Diesel called the other day, and your eyes were twice the shade of beetroot. His eyes is very much red. So how she is portraying that his eyes is very much red by comparing it to a beetroot, and it's very much red. How she is saying that is his eyes were twice the shade of beetroot. How beautiful, na? And another one line, old as age and fresh to sage. Old as age and fresh to sage. To being a sage, that is too new, but but as an experienced one, it is as old as age. How beautiful can change, na? Metaphors will change our poem beautiful, right? And few things I would like to share, like while writing poems, what my mentor shared to me: don't write a lengthy line where you may break the rhythm of reading, or sometimes free verse don't need of meters, syllables and all, but sometimes while reading the metric rhythm may be broken, so that will give an awkward feel to read. So try to write a small sentence, not too short also, not too lengthy also, like a moderate one. and proper punctuation mark. And of course I never do that punctuation mark. Every time I used to get scolding from my mentor, why you are not writing, why you are not using proper punctuation mark in your poem. That gives that won't give the proper flow to read. Readers might say, read it as a whole sentence where there won't be any pause or any comma, any full stop. That won't give a good look. So don't try to forget, forget to mark punctuations correctly. And few things you used to share. Don't use unnecessary punctuation marks where that don't want, where the line doesn't need it. Like adding dot. No need to add that and all. So try to avoid those stuffs and all. Even though you are writing a free verse, make it live, make it clear. Use as many as metaphors you want, but don't make it as a poem full of metaphors where readers might find it difficult to understand what you are trying to convey. So try to limit the metaphors and use wherever it is needed. And try to use metaphors in a correct place where that is needed, and similes in a place where it is needed. Don't try to change the similes as metaphors as simile. So use some new words in your poem, but don't make your whole poem as a new word packed with the new words. Don't make it like that. These are all few things he used to share with me. So I try to do and I try to follow those advice given by him. And moreover, poetry is not such a difficult stuff. So every free verse writer can also attempt a poetry form. But the thing is, we need to know more about that form. Then if we attempt a poem, then that will be a great success. Trust me, the poem will be of a great success. You all know that we all are learners and we learn with each other's poem, and we are on the same boat traveling. And this is just a starting thing. What I know, what I personally feel is like we all join together and make our realm a beautiful poetry platform where on every poetry forms also been attempted, not only the free verse. And this is the baby step we took. And thank you all for having patience and listening to my speech. And I know my English is not that much good, and please forgive me for the flaws what I made. And thank you everyone. Once again, let's meet in another program with another subject. Thank you all. Nandri, vanakkam.